Well, hey. I came on today because I wanted to share with you what it feels like to be assigned. Oh my goodness. Well, help. I got assigned. This is what happens. One thing I want to say right off the bat is that when you're a seller, being assigned is a part of the process. Okay. It can happen. It's a part of the process. You just have to be prepared for it, per se, and then we work it. All right. When you're a seller, you're saying that I'm willing to sell at this place or buy at this place, per se. Okay. Let's talk about it. When you're selling a call, you're selling a call, whether that's in a call credit spread or you're selling a covered call. What you're saying is, I'm willing to sell these shares at this price. Now, if you have shares, if you're doing a covered call and you have shares, then you're saying, I'm willing to sell my shares at this price that I'm writing this contract for, at this sale price. But if you don't have the shares, or if you're doing a call credit spread, that's why you use the other side, the other leg, the call leg is the one that you then use for your cover, quote unquote. That's your cover. So you're saying, I'm willing to sell at this, let's say 25, but you have a 26 buy leg that's your protection, is the 26 leg, is the other leg of your call credit spread. So to get assigned the shares, or to be breached at the 25, basically says that you're willing to sell shares at $25 a pop. If you have them, then great, you release them for $25. If you don't have them, then you use your 26 strike to cover you. You basically buy them for 26 and sell them for 25. And the one spread between the two is what you end up with your loss, potentially, depending on how the stock price is going. If you're looking on the other side, if you have a put credit spread and you're saying, I'm willing to sell this put, I'm willing to sell these shares, let's say $20, I'm picking random numbers. I'm willing to sell this put at 20 and I have a buy leg underneath it, let's say 19. Then you're saying, I'm willing to sell these. I'm willing to, it's basically, you're willing to accept shares when you're doing a put. You're willing to accept shares at the $20 price. You're saying, I'm willing to buy, if you sell a put, what you're saying is, I'm willing to buy these shares, 100 shares at $20. That's what you're saying. So if the price goes below that, somebody on the other side could exercise and say, well, price is 19 or 18 or 17, but I want your 20. You said you were willing to sell them for 20. Give me the share. Here you go, right? So if you get assigned on a put credit spread on the sale side at 20, what you're saying is, I'm willing to be put these shares at $20. All right. That means you're going to be assigned shares, right? It literally is a part of the process. And you use the bought put as your security between those two. Okay. So earlier this week, or last week, I guess it was, I was assigned on a Foot Locker put credit spread for earnings. First of all, I don't do a whole lot of earnings trades. I've been kind of delving in this area, trying to see what's going on with earnings, to see if there's some possibility for us as sellers, but earning is so volatile. Either way, I did an earnings trade on Foot Locker last week, and I'm going to share a screen here in a minute with all the details. But I did a trade. The price of Foot Locker dropped. I had June 16th expiration. I did the trade on May 18th. Who's thinking they're going to be assigned within a day or two? But it happens. It happened. And again, want to repeat, getting assigned is no big deal. We can work it, right? We can work it. I'm going to show you how. Here we go. I'm going to switch over to a screen so you can see what actually happened with my trade and what we can do, what you can do in the process in the future whenever you run into this problem, right? Hopefully you won't run into this problem, but if you do, again, it's par for the course. I had on Thursday, on May 18th, I sold the 37.5 put credit spread for $53. Max loss is $250, which is the difference between those two spreads, right? So Earnings was that Friday morning. So I entered the trade on Thursday. Earnings was going to be that Friday morning before market open. The price dropped to $30 after the earnings announcement. It was supposed to, like, the expected move was like 3 or 4 at the time, that the price was around 40 when I entered. And the expected move was supposed to be like 3 or 4. It was definitely, it might have been like 42. Price might have been 40. I don't even remember exactly where price was, but I know it was between, because I did an iron condor. But by the way, price dropped to like 30 after the earnings announcements. Everybody was shocked. Oh, shock and awe. So I was assigned 100 shares over the weekend. Okay, so this is like Friday night, Saturday morning, I get a message that says, you've been assignment alert from, Thinkorswim, assignment alert. That never seems like it'd be a great email, but you do find out that way that you've been assigned by an email. That way they let you know. So basically, I was assigned at the 37.50 strike price because that was my sale leg. I said I'm willing to accept shares, or basically at this 37.5 price, I'm willing to accept shares. What price was, I mean, it's now worth $30. Who doesn't want to sell $30 shares for 37.50? I mean, really, right? $7.50 extra on the price. Who's not up for that? But on Monday morning, I didn't panic, which I don't want you to panic either if you ever get assigned. I sold the shares on Monday for $29.50, right, per share. So this was an $800 loss. I had basically been assigned the shares at $37.50, but I sold them on Monday for $29.50. The difference between those two numbers is $800, right? So that's an $800 loss in that trade. But because I had a credit spread, I still had the long put at the 35 strike price, right? So I got a put at 35, which is now in the money. Yeah, because price is in the 30s. It was 30, $29.50. You see, I sold my shares at $29.50. So it's not even in the 30s anymore. It's in the 20s. So my put, I held on to that put for another day or so, might have been 1 or 2 days, and the price of Foot Locker kept going down. Well, as the price of Foot Locker is still going down, my put was still gaining ground. I had till June 16th, so I wasn't even in the place where Theta was starting to eat at my premiums. I still had plenty of time. So price was still going down of Foot Locker. Price kept falling. So I finally, on the 23rd, I think it was, I sold the put for 8.4. So I sold the put for $840. Remember, I had a loss of $800 when I sold the shares, but I sold the put for $840, which left me with my trade as a $40 profit, right? So this turned out to be where it could have been the 250 max loss if it had just stayed on like it was going. It ended up being a profitable trade once I was assigned. Now, was the assignment comfortable? Absolutely not. Okay, you got shocked. You're like, I don't know what happened. Oh, what am I going to do? And so you just process it. We just process it. Okay, they gave you 100 shares. So basically now you got 100 shares to sell, or sometimes people keep them and do covered calls on them, suchy, depending on what you have. Covered calls might have worked. They did have, I think, dividends was coming at some point in the future. I wasn't waiting around for that. But you could wait and hold on for a dividend payout. So I had shares at $37.50, but the current price was at $29. So a covered call could have potentially provided some weekly money, but I decided I'd rather get my money on the front side. So I sold my shares. And then I waited for the put to continue to fall, right, until it got to a place where it was either at break even or profitable. In this case, it turned out to be profitable. And I took my money off the table, right? So a trade where you got assigned and was all super nervous turned out to be a positive trade. All right. So listen, I want to say this one more time. I've said it multiple times in this video. Getting assigned is a part of the process for selling. Anytime you're selling, you could potentially get assigned, and it's nothing to really worry about. You get given shares, you sell them. You still have a long call or a long put, you let the price do its thing, and then you close that and you reap your profits, do your break even or less loss. I mean, sometimes there still may be a loss, but potentially it's a less of a loss than what it would have been if the trade was completely breached. But yeah, listen, If you have any issues, concerns, help you need, come see us. We're at Educator2Trader.com. Come over here and check us out, and we'll be more than happy to help you inside of the E2T membership.